Is Bulletproof Monday, and regardless of where you're at this point in the year, we're coming up to the halfway mark of the year. If you can only imagine, whether you're on track, whether you're off track, it's always a good time to do a SWOT test. And my name is Susan Sly. I'm an entrepreneur. I'm a podcast host. I'm an author. And I truly, truly believe that we can have it all. We can have the amazing relationships. We can have our dream career, an amazing business. We can have that balanced life. Yes, we are going to have to work at it. And on Bulletproof Monday, my goal is to add value to you and share with you some tips and techniques to help you grow your business and therefore create the life of your dreams. So with that, I want to welcome you if you're here live. If you're watching on Facebook, shouts out to you. Hey, Bruce. Hey, Amy. If you are watching on YouTube, I want to shout out to you, and I would love if this is helpful to you to share this video. If you're listening on iTunes, thanks for being here. I just had one of our amazing clients, Deanna, said to me, I downloaded all of the Bulletproof Monday podcasts, and I just listened to them back to back to back. So thank you so much. Hey, Ivy, and hey, Christine. It's great to have you here too. So I want to get started. First and foremost, in business, there is an accounting term called SWOT testing, and the S stands for strengths, and then the W stands for weaknesses, and the O stands for opportunity, and the T stands for threats. So we always want to be SWOT testing our businesses and the aspects of our lives. So we're going to get into that today. How do you do it? Is it worthwhile? And why should you do it? Those are all the questions. So getting into the first one, which is strengths, and I want you to think about this. So in your business, you have certain things that are strengths. And so your strengths could be that you have some money in the bank and you're being very fiscally responsible, which means you might have some extra money to spend. I'm a big believer in fiscal responsibility, and I'm also a believer in investing in your business. So maybe at the halfway point of the year, you have some extra money and you can invest that maybe in some marketing. You can invest that into a site upgrade. You can invest it into some technical skills training. That could be a strength. A strength could be that you have an amazing innovative product that no one could get anywhere else. A strength might be something as simple as you've got an excellent brand reputation or a large social media following. Usually a strength is tangible. So saying something like, I'm a great leader, I'm a great listener, if you had to defend it with your accountant, they would probably go, that isn't really the case. A strength is something that usually comes down to a numeric value. It could also be, a strength might be just in terms of how long your company has been in business. It could be that you're profitable. It could be that your revenues are up, whatever those cases are. So knowing what the strengths are, and I want you to go ahead and list out what some of the strengths are in your business. The next thing is weakness. What are the weaknesses? So maybe your business hasn't been adapting. Maybe there are some weaknesses in terms of the fact that you have to update your technology. Maybe there's a weakness in that a competitor is doing something a little edgier or a little something more avant-garde than you're doing, and that could provide a weakness. A weakness could also be that you aren't on solid footing. Maybe you don't have board insurance. Maybe, as an example, if you have a board of directors, maybe you haven't updated your bylaws. Maybe you haven't applied for patents if you have a patented technology. Maybe you haven't trademarked something. Maybe you haven't been paying attention to your accounting. You don't have a cash flow statement. Those could all be weaknesses. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, any of those terms, I would highly recommend that you always tune into Bulletproof Monday, because my goal is to really help you take your small business or maybe your solopreneur business and grow it into a medium and then a large size business. So those are all terms that you really want to embrace. The next thing is opportunities. What are the opportunities for you in business? So opportunities could be brand collaboration. Opportunities could be an opportunity to maybe market your product or service in a different way or to a new market. Opportunities could be just getting out in front of people that maybe you previously weren't in front of. And I know Amy's doing some of those things. And the last thing is threats. What are some potential threats to your business? So our legislation that could be changing, competitors moving into your territory. Threats could be cash flow. Those could all be construed as threats. So now that I've walked you through a SWOT analysis, I want to give you a real life example. So I'm going to give you a few examples. The first one is in my direct sales business. So for those of you who have a direct selling or a network marketing business, you have some different things that you deal with than someone with a traditional business. So one would be that you do not have to supply the product or service. Generally, the company is going to provide the product or service. You do not have to deal with hiring and firing staff. You don't have to deal with HR issues, your Glassdoor rating. It doesn't really matter because you don't own the company. You're considered an independent contractor within that. So when you're doing a SWOT analysis, in that case, the strengths are going to come down to a couple of things that you do control. Not what the company controls, but what you control. So strength might be that you have 40 hours a week to put into your business. A strength might be that you have experience in the profession. A strength might be that you have a large distribution list. Those could all be strengths. Weaknesses might be that you aren't familiar with the industry. There are all sorts of things. So to give you an example, on Thursday, I have a meeting with someone who is looking at investing in a direct sales company. And I'm a mentor in a tech incubator ecosystem here in Phoenix. And a friend of mine reached out and said, hey, will you meet up with this person? So what I said to this person, I frequently do consult in different types of businesses. And what I said to this person is, we're going to have to do a SWOT analysis to see if this makes sense, if this is a good fit for you as an investment. So what are the strengths of that company? What are its potential weaknesses? Where are the opportunities? And what are the potential threats there? And in this particular thing that he's looking at, it's a service-based company. The last time that I did a SWOT analysis of a company, it was actually before I came to work with the AI company that I'm working with now. So I looked at one of their strengths was they had technology that no one else had. That was a really cool strength. What was a weakness? They had an amazing, amazing tech team. From the business side of things, is that they had one person kind of driving the business side of things, but in terms of marketing, in terms of sales and getting that product out into the world, it wasn't necessarily a weakness as it was that it wasn't just something, as they'd been focused on the product, they hadn't totally capitalized on. And then opportunities, there were so many opportunities within the vertical, opportunities for connection, opportunities for monetization. And then what were the potential threats? Looking at things like the CCPA, which is the new Privacy Act that's coming in California, GDPR compliance, facial recognition, thoughts about AI. So doing the SWOT analysis on the company, and then when they said, hey, will you come to work with us? After I did the SWOT analysis, I was able to make an educated decision on that. And the thing I would say to all of you is, in your business life, doing a SWOT analysis is something you want to do at least once a month, if not once a quarter, and definitely a couple times a year. And here's why. In business, do things change? Yes. In business, do you sometimes see, things come out of left field? Yes. And you've heard this saying that, fool me once, then I'm the fool. Fool me twice, fool me once, you're the fool. Fool me twice, whatever that saying is. I apologize. I tend to get those types of sayings wrong. Anyway, but you know what I mean, that the first time that something happens, you're naive. But if you don't learn from it, then that becomes a tremendous weakness for you. And in business and in life, you do not want the weaknesses to get the best of you. You want to out-train your weaknesses. And that's why the better it gets, the more experience you get, then you can come and make those educated decisions. And I see a lot of people and they feel sorry for themselves and they're like, well, business is going sideways, Susan, or I'm not making as much money as I was last year. And I'll say, did you do a SWOT analysis on your business? And they're like, I don't know what that even means. And if you don't know what it means, my question for you is, how serious are you about business? Because there is no room to be a victim and a victor at the same time. And I said to someone today, I said, if your emotions are running your business, you're not truly in business and you're probably going to lose that business. The reality is you've got to master your emotions in business. And if you're making decisions that are way too emotional and not from the vantage point of looking at the data, looking at the metrics, looking at the KPIs, key performance indicators, then you're not treating your business seriously. And it doesn't matter what kind of business you're in. SWOT testing is essential. It's something I do in all three of my businesses all the time. I look at it. What are the strengths we have right now? What are the weaknesses right now? Where are our opportunities and where are potential threats? And the thing I also want to say to you is if you have something that's a weakness, that's a great time to get a mentor. That's a great time to find someone who's transcended that same thing, or someone who's producing and achieving at a level you want to produce and achieve at, and say, hey, I've identified these weaknesses. What suggestion would you make for me? And that can be really, really helpful. And does SWOT testing apply to other areas of your life? Yes, it applies to every area of your life. Dara Torres, who's one of my favorite athletes of all time, she had gone into retirement, and then she decided back in 2007, she was going to come out of retirement and she was going to make a bid for the Olympics. And she was going to be age 41 at the 2008 Olympics. And do you know what? She looked at it. What are my strengths? I've been swimming for over 2 decades. I'm a rock star. What are my weaknesses? I've been swimming for over 2 decades. I'm 41 years old. What's the opportunity? Well, I want to really be a role model to women and young girls that you can have this long athletic career. And I want to be a leader on the Olympic team. I want to be a leader for these teenage girls who are just getting started. And what are the threats? Muscles breaking down, a 41-year-old body. And so she took that SWOT analysis and she trained differently, she stretched more, she ate differently, and she went on to win 12 medals in the Olympics, 4 golds, 4 silvers, and 4 bronzes in 2008. So the thing I can say to you, whether it's Tiger Woods coming back to just recently win the Masters, I'm just newly getting into golf, so I'll use some golf analogies now again. I know it's shocking. If you've known me at all, I've always said I will never put myself down, but I have not been known to be an excellent golfer, but I'm actually getting into golf, which is kind of fun. But you can use this for anything, even in my own life, in my marriage. Chris and I have been together for almost 20 years, and I've known him. He's celebrating his 50th birthday this week. I just threw him a surprise party over the weekend. And I look at it in my marriage, like, what are our strengths? Okay, we're committed. We've been together for a long time. We have these kids together. Our parents are friends. What are the weaknesses? We've been together for a long time. We perhaps get complacent. And then what are the opportunities? Well, let's have some new adventures together. Let's see what we can do. Let's be a role model for our children. Let's have a legacy marriage. And what are the potential threats, right? And as you begin to do this in all areas of your life, you're going to make better decisions. You're going to have better outcomes, and things, trust me, it's just going to be so much better for you in all areas of your life. So I wanted to share with you a little about the SWOT test. And also, if you haven't checked it out, my newest podcast is out with Marcus Murphy. He is a global LinkedIn expert. You can go to thesusanslyproject.com or check it out on iTunes. It's also up on YouTube right now. And Marcus gives his best training tips for LinkedIn. Lots of changes are coming out with LinkedIn. There's going to be LinkedIn Live, just like Facebook Live, which is really cool. And he gives all sorts of strategies for free things you can do. And one of the things I will say, whether you're on my newsletter list, if you're not on it yet, go to susansly.com and definitely do subscribe. I don't spam you. I'm always looking for ways to serve you, and with things that you can do that are free or very little money to grow your brand and grow your business, because the reality is behind every great business, there's a great brand. And so I just wish you the absolute best. I hope you're amazing. I'm going to be on vacation next week, but you can follow me on Instagram and check out where we're going. And you can see all of our amazing updates. So with that, I just want to say, God bless. Go out there and rock your week. The world needs more entrepreneurs to be successful, and that's what my wish is for all of you. And I will see you, if you're here live, in 2 weeks on the 17th on Bulletproof Monday. Goodbye and God bless, everyone.